On to the next one. Joseph Hahn says.
Joseph Hans.
That's where you start reading and I drink.
Right. I was looking at the call room. I have a 2002 DRZ 400E. That's been a great bike for me. Never had any issues and like to ride slower. That's a comma. Technical trails. I felt that I've been pretty lucky so far and decided to add some radiator protection with some Unibiker guards. Unibiker guards. For some reason,
Pro Moto Billet does not make guards for that bike, as far as I can tell. But keep going.
Yeah. For some reasons, I'm concerned that I could create cooling issues that I haven't had before. I'm concerned because I had to remove the plastic air directing louvers and then block some of the radiator with the guards. How do I monitor the temp of my bike? Do I need to add a gauge or a sensor? Watch the expansion tank? Other suggestions?
That's a really good question. So you're onto something with the louvers doing what they do, and effectively what they do is they kind of slow the air down a little bit and kind of they jam it into the radiators and kind of get it moving sideways so it does stuff, creates a vortex behind. There's lots of stuff. There's lots of reasons for the way they have louvers. So you can affect it. For 90% of the people, it's not going to make a difference. So the first thing, if you're concerned about it, the best thing to do would have been had a gauge. By the way, Trail Tech, one of our sponsors of the show, makes really nice gauges. They have a little gauges called the TTOs that do a lot of different things. One of them is a temperature sensor, and it has a thing that you can slide in your radiator. It's just I think it's copper, whatever. It just slides between the fins and measures the radiator temperature. They have one that goes in line, so it's like a thermostat housing kind of thing, but it's a temperature gauge. And so there's lots of ways to monitor. It would have been good to monitor it before and after, and then you would know. The easy way, like you mentioned, would be monitoring the coolant catch tank. You know, if you all of a sudden you find yourself pushing coolant out and not, like doing it, not doing it, whatever. But the louvers do make a difference, and I noticed, and contrary to what you would think, is if you're riding really fast, the louvers are better. If you're going really slow, they don't make much of a difference. And so this is not from any sort of science. This was just from what I noticed in when my bikes would boil and not boil, depending on which radiator guards. Because I've had bikes that have boiled while you were holding them wide open or going pretty fast, and they didn't have a louver on it, and we learned that's what it was. And Bob over here, Mojave Bob, is our in studio like pet.
I'm the defender of the Queen's English.
He's the defender of the Queen's English, and I said something wrong. Louvers?
No, does his bike have a radiator fan?
No. DRZ 400, and what are you doing riding that thing on technical trails? I'll tell you what. Let me just sell that thing and get a KTM 300 or a YZ250FX.
Yeah, those things are awesome.
Yamaha is a big sponsor of the show, and so yes, get a Yamaha.